Hello, ladies. Maybe you've noticed that your body is changing. Maybe you gained weight, or you have this stubborn menopause belly that you've never had before. Why is this happening, and what can we do about it? Are there things that we cannot change? And if there's anything that depends on us? Today we're talking about this. How can you lose weight? How can you lose your menopause belly and your fat in the midsection of your body after 40, 50, if you are in perimenopause, in menopause, or postmenopause? So first of all, why is this happening? I have one good and one bad news for you. The good news is that our hormonal changes are responsible just for a small part of this belly fat, of this weight gain, and the rest depends on our lifestyle. And the bad news is that we can change this. We can get rid of this stubborn fat, but we need to take an action. And this action needs to be regular. So among the reasons why women are gaining weight after 40, 50 and beyond, there is a hormonal change. The level of our estrogen drops down slowly, but the menopause itself does not mean that we have to gain weight. So for now, we put away this reason and we move on to the reason that has a huge influence on our body changing. And this is our lifestyle. The most influential reason is our lack of physical activity. And here I'm talking about physical activity in our everyday life. How much we walk, how much we move, how many movements we do, and as consequence, how many calories we burn. The studies have shown that while aging, women are doing less and less physical activity every day. At your 20s and 30s, you were walking a lot and now you're driving a car. You've changed your work, you sit a lot, you don't even notice, but probably now you're doing much less movement than you did 10 or 20 years ago. The second reason that can influence our weight gain is a lack of good quality sleep. Sleep disturbances may be connected to our menopause experience. It's one of the symptoms of the perimenopause. If we have night sweat, we have hot flashes, we're not sleeping well. But we also cannot sleep enough. The majority of people need from 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. So if you're lacking these hours and if you're not sleeping well enough, your appetite will grow and it will prevent you from losing weight. The third element is the stress. It happens so that at the second half of life, many women are passing through natural aging, perimenopause experience, and some difficult, some stressful events in their life. We can lose our parents, we can see our children that are growing up and leaving our house. We can leave our job or we're losing partners. So the second half of life can be a powerful period, but it can be also a very stressful period. And the stress related hormone cortisol do so that we cannot lose weight. It makes weight loss more difficult. And of course, if we gain weight, there's something that we are eating too much. You can eat just little more calories than your body needs, than your body consumes every day, but after 10 years, this small surplus will result in excessive fat on your body. So if I'm talking about nutrition and movement, so there is not such thing like menopause belly. Yes and no, because our menopause experience, our hormonal change, they don't make our experience easier. In fact, it's not very clear why, but our hormonal change, the drop in the level of estrogen, influences the location of the fat in our body. And there are two types of fat that we can have around our midsection. The first type of fat is situated under the skin. It's the fat that you can see and you may not like your body. It's more about aesthetics. But there's another type of fat called visceral fat that is situated deeper in our belly that surrounds our internal organs. And this kind of fat is an active tissue. This active fat produces proteins that may increase inflammation in our body. In the long run, this kind of fat may cause insulin resistance, high level of cholesterol. It may lead to cardiovascular diseases, diabetes type 2, and metabolic syndrome. Now you can make a simple test to discover if you are in the danger zone, in the risk zone, because more of this visceral fat we have and more active it is, and more we are in the higher risk zone. So this calculation will not give you a precise amount of your visceral fat, but it will help you to understand how your body has changed and if you need to take action urgently. So get your waist circumference at the smallest part. Then get your hips circumference at the largest part. And then divide the first number for the second one. The number you will get shows your health risk. See the numbers on the screen to see if you are in a lower, moderate, or higher risk zone. So now, as I'm finishing the list of reasons why we have this weight gain, why we have this fat around our midsection, we need to pass to solutions that we can apply to change the situation. So the first thing that needs to be addressed is our visceral fat, as it may cause some risk for our health. But the fact is that we address this visceral fat in exactly the same way we do with our subcutaneous fat. And as now we know that the number one reason is the lack of physical activity, we need to address this. We need to increase the general movement in our everyday life. So what we need to do is to increase the level of our physical activity in everyday life. I highly recommend you using some smartwatch or fitness tracker that will help you to control the number of steps that you make every day. Take this number and increase it by 2 or 3,000 steps every day. Go on and find any occasion to make some steps more. Of course, when we're talking about movement, we are talking about workouts. For a midlife women, the best workouts are some high intensity cardio and a weight training. This high intensity cardio don't have to be long. Just 10 or 15 minutes 2 or 3 times a week may be enough. If you are a beginner, you need to start slowly because some high intensity movement may be too difficult and a bit dangerous for you. The same about the weight training. Start with your body weight, learn the technique, and go on gradually increasing weights that you are using. The weight training will not only help you to improve your body composition, but will also improve your bone health and your joint health. Of course, if you want to lose weight, you need to eat less calories than you consume. It's a general principle that is at the basis of losing weight. I'm not talking about a specific diet, but this principle you need to understand. As if we eat as much as we consume, or if we eat more than our body consumes, we cannot lose weight. And now we pass on our sleep quality. There are many things that we can do to improve our sleep quality, even though sometimes it's not enough. Now, perimenopause, in menopause, there are things that we cannot change. We are not sleeping well, but at least try to sleep enough hours, which can be 7 or 8 hours for you. Try not to sacrifice your sleep in the sake of watching a film or scrolling your phone. Because what happens if we don't sleep well is that our body produces more of the hormone ghrelin, and this hormone increases our appetite. We're not only eating more if we're not sleeping well, but we are more tend to eat highly elaborate food like sweets, like salty snacks that are full of calories and very poor in nutrients. So if we're not sleeping well, it is difficult for us to lose weight. We need to learn to elaborate stress. We cannot eliminate all of the stresses from our life, but we need to find a way to elaborate this stress regularly. You can find the thing that will make you more calm, that is helping you to relax. It may be yoga, meditation, reading, walking, staying in the nature, singing, or listening to the music. It should be the thing that really works for you, and you need to be sure that you can do it on the regular basis. In this way, you will go on and elaborate the stressors that are constantly present in your life. Cortisol is our enemy if it's constantly high because it increases the level of inflammation, it makes our journey on losing weight much more difficult. And then turning to our hormonal changes, we cannot change the fact of aging, we cannot change the fact of being in menopause, but we can pass through this period in the best way we can. And when our body will adapt to this change, we will find ourselves in a better form. We will be stronger. We will have lots of healthy habits, lots of habits that can be the basis of our better life. So there's no magic pill. But the good news that we can definitely return to driver's seat. We can control, we can influence, we can change our body form, the way we feel, and the way we look. Menopause is not a disparate situation. I will cover these and other arguments in my new videos, so put a like, leave your comment, and subscribe to my channel.